Good morning. In the 4th chapter of the book of Philippians, Paul lets his letter take a rather personal tone when he says, I urge Euodia and I urge Syntyche to be of the same mind in the Lord. Yes, and I also ask you, my loyal companions, help these women. Apparently Euodia and Syntyche were at odds with one another. They weren't seeing eye to eye and they were quarreling, and apparently their quarrel was affecting the church at Philippi. And so Paul first says to them, I'm urging you to be of the same mind in the Lord. And then he urges the rest of the church, help these women. It's up to you, church, to help them come back together. We are living in a time, I don't have to tell you, where we are very divided as a country and even as a world. COVID-19 initially kind of brought everybody together in this idea that we're going to conquer this thing, but pretty quickly we divided. And we're seeing lots of partisan problems about COVID-19 and political partisanship and all of the rest. And we have a choice. Philippians 4 tells us, brothers and sisters in Christ, the church has a choice. We can be the Euodias and the Syntyches, and we can be at odds and bang heads with each other and cause all kind of problems between ourselves and all kind of problems within the church and all kind of problems spilling out from the church into the world. Or we can do what Paul says. For us to find a way to be of the same mind together. That doesn't mean we need to agree, but that we're of the same mind, that there actually are more important things than what we might think about COVID-19 or some other issue. And we also, rather than being Euodia or Syntyche, can be part of the church that wants to help. And I believe strongly that we are either going to be helpers or we're going to be harmers. We either help people come together, we either are the people of God, or we're going to be divisive and we're going to find ways to split people apart. And if we're doing that, then we are engaging in the works of the flesh and not the fruit of the Spirit. So all this week, I want to offer some heartwarming stories that I have found about people who are helping during this time of COVID-19. I want to inspire us to realize that we don't have to look to ourselves and our own interests. We don't have to be selfish, but that we can turn outward. We can care for people. We know that COVID-19 has caused people to be sick. COVID-19 has caused a number of people to grieve the loss of loved ones, and COVID-19 is economically challenging a number of people. And if there's anything the Bible tells us, it is that when people are sick, we are to go to them and care for them. And when people are grieving, we are to go to them and comfort them. And when people are in difficult circumstances, whether it is economic or otherwise, we are called to try to help them out. And so this week, we are going to see a number of different stories, not simply to warm our hearts, but hopefully to inspire us to be the helpers that God is asking us to be. And so today I want you to see the story of Melanie and Tyler Timpania. They were going to get married, and they were married, but things had to change because of COVID-19, but it's a wonderful story. So let you see their story.
When Melanie and Tyler Timpania's wedding reception was canceled because of coronavirus, it didn't stop them from spreading the love.
I just looked at Tyler, I was like, let's donate the food.
After a scaled-down backyard ceremony with a canine best man, the bride and groom, still clad in tux and gown, headed to a Cleveland area shelter.
We wanted this to be like they were going to a wedding. So they really felt like they were at a special event that day.
Their wedding night dinner wasn't glamorous.
Most of the kids just wanted like big bowls of mac and cheese.
It was delicious. It was all delicious.
But the donation was enough to feed their special guests for another 5 days.
Did you learn a lesson in this?
That even in hard times, you can give back.
Do you guys think you'll redo and have like a big wedding?
I honestly love the way everything unfolded.
And there's a little boy with cupcake all over his face. And that picture made it all worth it.
How's that for something blue? Jamie Yukas, CBS News, Los Angeles.
When I'm doing premarital counseling with couples, I always tell them that I believe the biblical principle for whether or not we should be married is really just a one-question statement or one-question criteria. It isn't, do you love each other or this kind of thing. It is, will the world be better at the end of your marriage when one of you dies than it would have been had you not been married together? If you're going to make each other better and together you're going to make the world better, then your marriage is meant to be. And if you can't answer that, if your marriage is just about you and what's going to make you happy or whatever, then it's not worth getting married, because that's not what the Lord would have us to do. I think Melanie and Tyler are showing that their world is going to be our world is going to be better because of their marriage, and they started it out right at the beginning, not being selfish and saying, well, we'll just eat all the food ourselves or we'll just do whatever, but rather they found a way to share their special day with people who were in need. And so let me invite you this day, find a way to be a helper and go out there and make a difference in our world. We can do that because God is with us.